So there is the final table, the Group G table. Belgium win it, 3 wins out of 3. England finishing in second. The Tunisia-Panama match is still ongoing. They started a couple of minutes after our game. Tunisia have come from behind to lead 2-1. As you can see, that would be their first victory of the World Cup in their final game. And as George mentioned, it means it's Belgium, Japan on Monday, England, Colombia on Tuesday. So, Richie, just I suppose to pick up on what George said there, the Belgian reserves better than the English reserves, yeah?
It's very difficult to come up with any real assessment of these two teams' opportunities or potential in the rest of the tournament based on what we showed tonight, because they're not the best teams that either manager can pick, and we're not even sure what the level of motivation within either camp or either manager was to go all out and win this game. I think there was the right result. I think Belgium had a moment of quality in the second half, which England lacked. Wasn't great to watch at times. The pace of it was a bit slow. It did lack in intensity, mind you. I think Eamon's going to talk about it. I don't know how Fellaini avoided a booking. There was a good few challenges from him. Very robust in his challenges quite a lot. But overall, a really, really well done job by England in this group stage. This is, a luxury situation to be in, where it doesn't really matter that they lost the final group game. They could play all the reserves, even Welbeck gone on in the second half. So every team, every outfield player now has been on the pitch. So they should be very satisfied with how they got on in the group, and I'm pleased with the draw they got now.
How will Southgate react to this, Eamon?
Well, he'll say that we did our best, and, he can say that honestly. I think the question is how the Belgians and their coach Martinez feel about making a date on Tinder with Brazil. They wouldn't swipe right for that one. So they're going to have to beat Japan, of course, and that's not a formality. In fact, it's a banana skin. But then they face Brazil. England go now to play Colombia, possibly the winner then of Sweden and Switzerland. And then, I'm not sure, but
Well, the other side of that is Spain, Russia, Croatia, Denmark.
Yeah.
So that's the side. It's still high-quality teams, but the top half of the draw is a minefield.
England could conceivably get to the semi-final or even the final in this half of the draw. They've certainly, by losing tonight, the draw works out very strongly in their favour.
Of the 2018 World Cup, Januzaj's goal is something he'll remember for a long, long time. We'll look at that in due course. But what was your take on this evening's events, Liam?
Well, I have to hold my hands up and say, I got it wrong about Belgium. I thought they were excellent tonight, technically miles ahead of England, particularly in midfield, where Dembélé showed how a midfield player should play. He was getting on the ball. His passes were positive. And Fellaini had a really good game as well in the creative sense. But compared to the England three in the middle of the park, they were poor. They were giving the ball away. Dyer would only go backwards or sideways. He never played a telling pass. And, if you're looking at things that you might have at your disposal to change a game, well, Belgium will look at their reserves and say, well, we have some good players there. Thorgan Hazard had a very good game. Januzaj was brilliant for the goal. So I think Martinez has made a statement tonight. He's saying, I have the squad to go all the way. And we've always been saying about Belgium, the players that they have at their disposal is quite incredible, the talent that they have. And they've got backup now, in my opinion. They've got real good backup. Well done to them. They deserve to top the group. England, I'd be a little bit worried if they have to change or have to introduce creativity in that midfield. They just don't have it, because they've got Henderson in there, and Henderson is a strong personality and he works hard and he's having a good tournament. But where's he going to get assistance from other players? For me, Loftus-Cheek, no. Delph, no. And particularly Dyer, no.
Well, is that why he's gone, Richie, for this system in the first place, the 3-5-2 thing? Because he knows he doesn't have creativity. Like, Henderson is a good player doing what he does, but he's not Pirlo.
And I think sometimes he can be quite exposed in that middle of the park in that England team, because Ali is a threat going forward. I don't think he's great defensively. Lingard likewise. So when he plays when those two play either side of him against a better team, Lee made the point. We can praise what we've seen of England. Go back to the qualifiers. Yeah. Some of the pre-tournament friendlies, the opening 2 games, caveat being they're against really poor teams. A better team, and I think Belgium tonight were decent. Belgium's first team would be a hell of a lot higher level. So I think in the middle of the park defensively, I think England are a little bit vulnerable. And all this talk about plotting, I don't know what the reaction is among the English media or the supporters or within the dressing room about the favourability of the draw now. They just need to focus on Colombia and nothing else. This is a country which has had, I think, 6 victories in knockout stages of tournaments since 1966. Jumping any way beyond that game and they make themselves look daft. I don't think they're good enough.
I know exactly what you're saying, but the English media are going to jump beyond what's coming next.
Well, they will. I think they'll be encouraged to believe. Don't forget, you're leaving Harry Kane.
Are you jumping?
Well, no, I would say that England benefit more than Belgium from the result tonight. And I think the difference is significant. So therefore England have a better chance of going further in the tournament. If England get to the semi-final, there'll be an open-top bus and they'll be in Buckingham Palace and all the stuff. It would be regarded as a heroic achievement. Now that route is clear and it's by no means daunting, is it?
No, particularly the next game, they should beat Colombia, but looking at the lack of technical ability in the midfield as well, the Colombians could easily dominate possession.
Yeah, just have to say, Liam, it's Colombia without James.
Well, we're not.
We think. He limped off with what looked like a
half an hour
today.
Yeah, well, that's a big.
And the coach wouldn't give an update. Peckerman said
if it was the Colombia that beat Poland last weekend, they looked very, very good indeed, and they certainly are a determined team, and they have other players, but still, you've got to factor in Harry Kane, Sterling, Lingard, the way he's playing at the moment, the set-piece power, and a better, Trippier. Maybe Rose keeping his place. But they have a route now that's clear and by no means beyond them, in my opinion.
OK, very good. Yeah, Liam, he's not given a huge amount away there. He's certainly not said we've lost the game, I'm elated.
No, he's not unhappy either. No. That came across loud and clear. He thinks now we can beat Colombia with my first 11 and maybe have another match they could win, and all of a sudden they're in the semi-final. But his first team still haven't played anybody, and I think against Colombia we'll be able to judge England whether they can go all the way or whether they can go to a semi-final, because now this is the business end. This is gone. It was an easy group to get out of, wasn't it? Let's be fair. Panama, Tunisia, you would have picked Belgium and England all day long to get out of that group. So he's happy. I think he's happy. And as he said, he's preserved all his first picks, and they've got a big chance now of getting to the semi-final if they play well. But I would be worried about the lack of creativity, even in the midfield with his first team. Yeah, it's something we're going to look at in a moment or two. But let's have a look at this, because it's worth enjoying again as a special piece of skill from Januzaj, a player that so many people over here will know about. Incredible talent. He's still only 23.
He made a hell of an impact when he burst onto the scene in the Premier League. He's gone a little bit off the radar for a lot of fans in the last little while, but it's a really, really well taken goal. You can just see he just drifts outside the box. It's poor defensively. I don't think you'd be happy with the contributions of Rose here, who's the nearest player to Januzaj, or Delph. But see the reaction of both players here. Rose, I think, has got to close down first of all quicker, and if he can't do that, he's got to throw himself to make sure the shot doesn't get past him. Block, he doesn't. He kind of half turns his back. Then you look at Delph, who's next to him, does likewise. I don't know what kind of movement that is. I don't know where you would coach a defender to ever do that up against a player, but wonderful skill right in the top corner. I don't think the goalkeeper had an opportunity to do anything about it, and that was the match winner. He's at Real Sociedad now. It was a fantastic bit of skill from Januzaj. Liam, let's focus in on this lack of creativity with England. Yeah, well, it's their second team, and but the lads coming in demonstrated to me that
if he wants to change things, if he's up against things as the game goes, as the competition goes on, he's not going to be able to count on the likes of Fabian Delph, Loftus-Cheek. There he is losing the ball. Delph lost the ball earlier. This is Delph again. You know, none of the Belgian midfield players did anything like that. They kept possession, they brought their teammates into it. There's Loftus-Cheek again, in tight areas, not good enough, not skillful enough, and Belgium are breaking at them. That's the point I'm making, Dara. They haven't got a bench. Up front, yes, they'll have Rashford, they have Vardy, who are very, very good, and that's why I thought they had a better team out tonight than Belgium. But, you know, the midfield players were really, really poor. Loftus-Cheek again, his control's not good enough, dispossessed. Dyer, as I say, very, very negative. Here he is, highlighted, he just goes backwards. And when he does try to go forward, he's not good enough. You know, he's not good enough with the ball at his feet. There he is, just going backwards. So these three guys didn't do themselves any favours, I don't think. This is Loftus-Cheek at the very end. You know, well, you have got Rashford and Vardy up front.
Yeah.
They need service, but they couldn't get anything tonight because of the lack of technical ability from those three lads.
England's play, kind of overall, over the 90 minutes, the good and bad, Eamon. Look at both here.
They were. I think Liam summed it up there. They're not good enough in the key areas. Midfield is a key area. Rashford is a very good player, but he'd have to, and Vardy, very dangerous, very quick, but they need service. This is Delph. Actually, this is just before the goal. That was Delph giving the ball away, and a minute later it's in the back of the net. Sometimes they get a decent position. This is a decent position, and that's Loftus-Cheek again attempting across Delph. Harry Maguire. It's played in, and this is the real chance of the match. This is Rashford, and he really should have scored. He should have done better. The keeper, Courtois, to his credit, stood up, made himself big, and didn't make Rashford's job any easier. But it's pretty woeful stuff on the whole. I don't think they had, other than Rashford's chance, a chance all night. And there's Fellaini getting a touch, a very important touch. We're going to show you his value in a minute, or his nuisance value. But he played really well tonight. He was a nuisance to England's defence, and he did his bit for the cause, you know, at the back as well. So England don't have the quality, and I think what you have to factor in is Harry Kane. He's the one world-class player they have. He's the leading goal scorer in the tournament as we talk. He comes back in with Sterling, Lingard, but he is
and Dele Alli if he's fit.
And Dele Alli, yeah, but Kane is the set pieces. The way they've won the games, I think Steve Holland and Gareth Southgate have worked out what Liam's just showed. They know they don't have the guile in midfield, the creativity, but they have got the power of Kane, and they can, and the pace of Sterling, the pace of Lingard, and I think they're doing the best with their best 11 on the field with the talent that they've got, and that's all you can ask.
I think in fairness to Southgate, he did say that he had half an eye on the knockout, so that if he wanted to win that game, if he wanted to change it, I'm sure he observed all the weaknesses we did, but just the importance of the result just wasn't there. And I think he was just, again, hit all the right notes in that post-match interview. He was asked about the draw. He didn't say anything that would come back on him. He praised the players that played tonight. He praised the supporters. Did all the things he's usually done. But in the build-up to this tournament, they were getting a lot of praise for a lot of reasons, and most of which were non-footballing reasons. I've yet to see the best England team go up against a very good quality opposition in a competitive fixture and perform. So that's the thing. We're going into the knockout stages of the World Cup, and we still haven't seen them tested. And
Colombia will test them for sure next Tuesday. You've name-checked Dembele as somebody who could possibly come into the Belgian starting 11 for their game against Japan. But Marouane Fellaini, all through the match, you guys were hugely impressed with the way he played.
Yeah, I think he's a real warrior. He does. He gets stuck in. You see him there with a little bit of skill. He's got skill. He's Manchester United are going to give him a new contract now, but he's so honest and he sticks at the task. And now you see here, this led up to a goal. No, it wasn't this one. He gets a foul, he draws a foul there. Here he wins the ball. And we've seen him earlier on, and we'll see it again, the clip where he actually saves a goal. He's a remarkable nuisance. And I mean that in a complimentary way. You'd hate to have him playing. Look at him, he saves a goal there. That was going in the net. You'd hate to have him playing against you. And United are giving him a new contract. I think Mourinho has figured out that it's better to have him on your side than against you. But this is actually, I think, this led up to the goal, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's
no.
a chance.
Oh no, the chance. That's right. There was a great chance. Now he created that wide on the left, and he's just saved a goal at the other end. He's created the chance, and here he has a chance, but his old left foot isn't working. But up and down, up and down. He's an amazing. Look at him, a warrior, and someone that I really admire. I must say, I wouldn't necessarily want him in my starting 11.
Your dream team.
No, but I admire him.
And a remarkable nuisance is a great description. Okay.